We begin with some breaking inputs that are coming in ahead of the next week's IPL playoffs. The Rajasthan Royals say that the team has regrouped after the shocking match-fixing events. The team owners also say that they have taken many definitive steps in the wake of the scam, including suspending contracts of the 3 arrested players. Sources are now telling NewsX that Rahul Dravid will not be quitting. In fact, they also said that the internal checks are in place and that they ensure that team players sign a register before they go out and also report unauthorized calls. Well, let's go across to our political editor Priya Sehgal, who's joining us for further details. Priya, what's the latest that you are hearing? Rajasthan Royals are trying to take all actions and a complete damage control mode now.
Absolutely, Akshay. In fact, my sources have also told me that, contrary to rumors, Rahul Dravid is not quitting. In fact, he was there when they took an internal assessment meeting in Jaipur, and he is at the forefront of damage control. There are some measures that have been taken. One of them, as you said, players before they go out after the matches, for the after parties, or if they go out for any other meetings during the matches, they have to sign a register. They have to say where they are going. It's a bit like a hostel, but they have this strict times call for strict measures. Secondly, the other thing is that as the chairman of Rajasthan Royals, Ranjit Thakur, has issued a statement which we have, where he says they are complying with the BCCI. They are taking strict possible measures to enforce standards of honesty, and also to the battering that the image of Rajasthan Royals has taken. They want to overcome that, because they were saying, as my source told me, we were winning, we were coming third, we are on a good wicket. Why would we damage our own game by throwing away matches? So there is a mood to lift morale within the Rajasthan Royals, and also to give a good impression of the credibility of the team. So they are complying with measures, and they've taken whatever internal measures they could take, they have taken. For instance, players have been told, any unauthorized calls, please you report it first, because if the police tracks them down later, we are not there going to bail you out. That means you are culpable. If you don't report any such calls, then you are culpable.
All right, we'll leave it at that for now. Priya, thanks very much for bringing that breaking input forward. Good evening and a very warm welcome to this edition of Speak Out India. I'm Akshay Tandon. Today our show is on the ongoing anger against the IPL fixing scam. But first, let's take a look at the latest developments today, where the Delhi police have detained another fixer, former Ranji player Babu Rao Yadav, who allegedly introduced an arrested fixer to Rajasthan Royals player Chandila, who has been taken into custody. That's the latest development on this fast-growing story. Well, it's the 5th day since the spot-fixing saga broke out in the Indian Premier League 2013, allegedly involving 3 Rajasthan Royals players. Outraged fans are hitting back hard after feeling cheated and taken for granted. Must IPL 6 be put on hold until probes into fixing end, the way fans are now demanding? Take a look at this report.
Booed, exalted and left in lurch. The IPL fans are now hitting back. They are the ones who have made the IPL a huge success, and the recent news of spot fixing has left them smarting and angry. And they are ready to take on IPL that is becoming an Indian punters league.
இவங்க சூதாட்டமா பண்றதுனால, இவங்க ஏமாத்துறதுனால எல்லா ரசிகர்கள் சார்பாக நான் முதல் ஆளாக இந்த வழக்கை பதிவு செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று வேண்டுகிறேன்.
We suspect that these grave, not only grave, the dangerous cricket match fix scam should have not been occurred without the hand in glove and the knowledge of the BCCI members. Mr. Sreesanth is an incompetent chairman according to our PR of the considered view that he must bear the moral responsibility, and Mr. Honorable Sreesanth should tender his resignation.
A Lucknow resident, Sudarsh Avasti, has filed a PIL in the Supreme Court demanding an SIT probe in all allegations of match fixing. He also wants the IPL semi-finals and final matches stayed till the matter is sub judice. Luckily for the IPL, there are still some supporters left out there.
बुरा लग रहा है, आईपीएल इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म है, लोग इतने फैंस हैं इसके, और आई थिंक सिर्फ जो 3-4 लोगों की गलतियां से आईपीएल पे आरोप नहीं आना चाहिए. आईपीएल बहुत ही एंटरटेनिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है, बहुत लोगों को खुश करता है, बट ऐसे वैसी चीजें होती तो बुरा बहुत लगता है.
Fans who had paid for tickets are extremely miffed. The ticket price ranges between 500 to 20,000 rupees per seat in a stadium, depending on the city the match is being played in. All the three tainted players belong to Rajasthan Royals, the most profitable of all IPL franchisees. Ticket sales and merchandising have helped it post crores in its balance sheets year after year. Fans feel they have been cheated. Going by the trends, fixing in cricket isn't going to stop anytime soon, merely by the BCCI banning the tainted players. A report pegged the illegal betting market around the IPL at a conservative estimate of 5,000 crores, maybe even 40,000 crore rupees. That's larger than the legitimate estimated value of the IPL itself. The market is too big, the money too great, the potential rewards too easy, and the risk of exposure and punishment far too low to deter anyone and everyone permanently. Now the fans have begun filing suits against IPL. Does public anger threaten to spill over? Must IPL 6 be put on hold until probes into fixing end? Is sex in the IPL a bigger scam than fixing? Bureau Report, NewsX.
Let's also go across to my colleague Mandira, who joins us for further updates on how this entire racket is running. Mandira, over to you.
Thank you for that, Akshay. Now, it's all very interesting. The big bookies, they operate from overseas. That is the likes of Dawood Ibrahim and the people he's directly in touch with. Those are the main players. So the company being the main player here, then he controls the Indian underworld, or his men control the Indian underworld. The Indian underworld in turn manages the local bookies, whether it's your Dinesh Kalgi, or the 11 bookies that have been arrested in this regard from all over the country. That is the strata of bookies I'm talking about. These local bookies are in touch in turn with ex-cricketers like Jiju Janardhanan, who, as we know, has been a friend of Sreesanth and probably is the one who lured him into it. And these men, these ex-cricketers, the former Ranji players, the first-class players, they are the ones that identify the vulnerable targets like Sreesanth and the other two men who've been arrested, Chandila as well as Ankeet Chavan. They lure these cricketers with money, with sex, with women, what have you, and then these players in turn fix matches. By fixed matches, I mean they fix spot fixing, whether they fix one over or session by session, or even identify the other players within their circles who they believe are vulnerable. So this is how this entire murky racket really operates. Back to you.
Well, thanks very much, Mandira, for trying to explain to us and the viewers of how really this entire racket runs. So we tonight on Speak Out India are asking you a few questions on what do you feel about this subject. Now, fans file suits against IPL. Is public anger only rising? And must IPL 6 be put on hold until probes into fixing end? Is sex in IPL a bigger scam than fixing? And should an SIT probe all aspects of the IPL? Our telephone lines are open. Please call us on 012 436 9420. We'll be happy to take your phone calls live on this big IPL spot fixing saga. Well, joining me on the show tonight, I have with me Mr. Suresh Menon. He's the editor of Wisden Almanac. He's joining us live from Bangalore. Thanks very much, Mr. Menon, for joining us today. It's been a day of very fast and quick developments that have happened today. I just want to understand from you, we've heard so many experts like you also saying that this just seems to be like the tip of the iceberg. What do you see happening in the next few days as we are seeing more and more arrests taking place from across the country?
Well, I hope over the next few days, the idea of a law to look after, to punish those who indulge in match fixing is put into place. This has been one of the biggest lags in our system, where you can arrest whoever you want, but you do not have a specific law against match fixing or spot fixing on our books. So I think one of the positive things to have emerged from this,
yes,
and I hope this is something that the board also focuses on, is the business of having a law in place. And the law minister himself has said that he's keen to do this. So one hopes that that's done as quickly as possible.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you for more, Mr. Menon. I want to bring in a few callers on the show. Let's hear what India has to say on this. Joining me at the moment is Bashir from Srinagar and also Ashik. Bashir, go ahead, speak your mind out.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I spoke before, but the call was disconnected.
Okay, go ahead now.
As per the statement by a bookie,
yes,
namely Sunil from Dubai,
yes,
that IPL is a show,
yes,
right? And the show is run by the BCCI.
Yes.
I think the police should also interrogate, not investigate, interrogate the entire BCCI governing body, because they must be familiar about each and every happenings of the scam.
All right, thanks very much, Mr. Bashir. You're saying that it's time for the BCCI big question on the entire issue. Thanks very much. Ashik from Srinagar, go ahead, speak your mind out.
Hello, good evening everybody.
Good evening.
As already I have said that it is the IPL has become the bunch of gambling and fixing. More to say that India is nowadays facing the situation of every day the rapes happen in Delhi, in Mumbai, etc. And these dance girls are being brought to the cricket. They have nothing to do with the cricket. They should be, as Afridi has already requested to the cricket ICC, that these dance girls should be removed. They are making and sex appeal to, and they are just making the mindset of lower generation. They are destroying it.
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Ashik. Tony from Goa, go ahead, speak your mind out, Tony.
Yeah, okay. The people who are caught, these three players, are very small fish. They are much more bigger fishes than that. They should be caught also.
Okay. All right, Tony. Thanks very much. I want to go back to Mr. Menon. Mr. Menon, you heard a few callers there, what they have to say about the IPL. One thing is very certain, that this particular scandal has brought about a lot of shame, because it's not just about spot fixing today. We're also talking about allegations of perhaps matches could be fixed, and with that there is so much sex and sleaze that's also coming out when there are reports say that Sreesanth was actually with a woman, quote unquote, a friend in the hotel, and he also was drunk, is what the reports are saying. It's so much disgrace and embarrassment that the IPL is being brought about, and that's why we are raising this question. Is it time that IPL 6 should be put on hold till all these allegations are cleared out?
Well, the sex and sleaze business is a personal business really between the individual and probably his family. And Sreesanth is seen with a woman in the hotel. I mean, good luck to him. I mean, he's a bachelor. He can do what he wants. We are all adults here. So I don't know if there are other implications in this, but from the pure angle of having a woman friend in a hotel room, I don't think that's a great big deal. And I don't know if the parties themselves are to be blamed. It's apparently the people who get into some of these parties and then talk to the cricketers, and this is what one hears, and to thereby knock off all parties, and maybe a bit drastic. But the important thing I want to put this in a historical context. We've been talking so much about gambling and parties and fixing and so on.
Right.
We must remember that the first rules of cricket were framed to regulate gambling. When cricket was first played in the 18th century, the first rules were formulated to regulate gambling, because what happened was the aristocracy came into it, and they took it upon themselves to play against each other, run teams against each other, and as a part of this, gambling was a huge thing, and the rules were formulated as a response to this. There was a legendary cricketer in the 19th century, Edward Pooley, who was a wicket-keeper, who is famous for actually throwing matches, taking money to throw matches. So cricket has always had this miasma of fixing from its very inception.
It's something that's not new to India, or perhaps the world, where fixing is concerned in cricket. But the question really is, what are the authorities really doing?
It's not India.
Or the world for that matter.
It's not specifically
the onus today lies, I'm not wrong, on the BCCI. Right? Mr. Menon, I'm going to come back to you. So I have Mr. Hemanshu Chaturvedi also. He's a founder of the Lok Diksha, who's joining us at the moment from Delhi. Mr. Chaturvedi, we're discussing about these such quick developments that are taking place in this entire spot fixing scandal. Money is being recovered from relatives, voice samples are being sent out. The BCCI Anti-Corruption Unit is there speaking with the Delhi police, saying we're going to be there for you, and we'll answer all your queries. But the question really is, there's so much murk and dirt that is coming out, that this is leaving a very bad impression on not just the fans but also on the game of cricket. So much dirt and murk and embarrassment and disgrace to the gentleman's game. Mr. Chaturvedi.
First of all, let us be very clear where this unit exists.
Okay.
This has come out of the heads, right? Because I have this list with me here from the website of the BCCI, of the committees. I would like the cameraman to zoom on this.
Okay.
Please zoom on this and show me Is there any anti-corruption committee on the BCCI website? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all.
Okay. So this is an eyewash. This is a hogwash.
I mean, this is when you don't have this, the people responsible are only making money.
Right.
They're not bothered about it. Suddenly somebody comes out of the head. You have a decorative person sitting there as individual. Like last night I showed it to you that they advertised in 2012 May saying that the 5 people investigative police officers of state government and all should apply. This qualification is required as investigative officer. Where are they? I mean, and another question which I yesterday raised was straight to them, that when you have contracted the anti-corruption work to an international body, you paying through your nose to them, then suddenly are you saying that they are no good? You want your own man to head the committee? What is this going on?
Right.
This is not okay.
Well, there are a lot of serious questions that the BCCI now really needs to answer. I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Chaturvedi. I have a few callers on the show. We have Puduval from Pune and Mansoor from Srinagar. Mansoor, I'm coming to you. Puduval, go ahead, speak your mind out on Speak Out India. Are you with us, Puduval? Alright, we seem to have lost that caller over there. You can call us back. Mansoor from Srinagar, go ahead, speak your mind out. Mansoor.
I want to tell you that there should be some harsh punishment, just like which we have done in Pakistan Cricket Board.
Okay. Okay. So you're asking, you're saying stringent action must be taken. Mr. Menon, I'm going to bring you in now. You heard what Mr. Chaturvedi had to say on the list that he's taken out on the internet, and he's showing us tonight. There is no such committee, there is no such a wing of the BCCI, there is anti-corruption wing, and there we have somebody who's the head of this unit called Ravi Sawani, who goes to the Delhi police. What is going on? Isn't the BCCI accountable for all that's happening in cricket? Mr. Menon.
The BCCI is responsible for cricket in India.
Yes.
But I think it's a bit rich to blame them for every bit that happens. I'm not a great fan of the BCCI and the way it runs cricket in India and in the world, really. But the fact is that there's just so much they can do, and it has to be a combination of the BCCI, the police, and the authorities who have to actually bring these people.
Pardon me for interrupting you there, Mr. Menon. You are saying there is only that much that the BCCI can do, but the question really is, are they doing even that much? That's the question, because if they were doing even that much, we wouldn't have seen spot fixing coming in the IPL, and not just IPL. There have been so many instances in the past. It's not like the BCCI wasn't aware. Mr. Chaturvedi, do you think the BCCI is doing that much that they're supposed to do in the first place? Mr. Chaturvedi?
Mr. Menon, I'm not an enemy either of the BCCI. I must tell you this very straight. I'm not their enemy. I am one of the cricket fans. I want the IPL to grow in this country. I want the young players to get money. They must grow. They must get richer the right way. They must make money by playing, not by indulging into all this. But the problem is there is no rule existing. The intention of the people in this country, those who are running the sport, are under duress. They are 100% under a question mark.
Right.
Why are you not doing enough?
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. The betting has to be caught.
I'm going to let Mr. Menon respond to that, Mr. Chaturvedi. But before that response, Mr. Menon, I have a few callers on the show. Sudeep Sahu from Ghaziabad, Sudhir Pandey from Mumbai. Sudeep, stay on with us. Sudeep Sahu, go ahead.
Actually, there is no law to control these types of bookies in India.
Yes.
And there must be some extradition treaty between India and Dubai to bring back Dawood Ibrahim, because he is the mastermind behind all these things.
Okay.
And players are only victims.
Okay.
And their greed is this is the main reason, because they are greedy to earn money, while they are earning handsome money by playing cricket, but they want illegal money very easily, very quickly.
You know, I'm going to put that question across, Mr. Sudeep Sahu. Are players really the victims, or do they really have a choice? I'm sure they have a choice. We're going to go across for our expert panel and we'll ask them. But before that, Sudhir Pandey from Mumbai, go ahead. Sudhir Pandey.
Yeah, actually, I would like to say this match is not being played for the country or something, the country's reputation at stake. This is something like Gully ka cricket only, you know, which has been made for excitement, fun, and frolic and thrill.
Right.
You know, with all the bikini-clad ladies and a lot of money pumping around, pomp and show. And, you know, so we should not be so acrimonious actually about this scam. Actually, if you see this scam as further added to the thrill, so much masala for the TV channels.
Absolutely. It is a lot to do with entertainment and perhaps less of cricket. Well, thanks very much, Mr. Pandey. I have to go across to other callers. Shadir from Jammu, go ahead. Shadir? All right, we'll try and connect a few more callers. Before that, Mr. Menon, would you like to respond to what Mr. Chaturvedi was saying a few moments ago? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, if you promise not to interrupt this time.
I'll try not to, sir. Go ahead.
The point is that I'm not. The point is I'm not here to defend the BCCI, but one has to be practical rather than emotional in these situations.
Okay.
What has happened, and I've been saying this in my columns and on your channel earlier, is that from 2001, when the match fixing scandal actually first broke, nothing has been done till now. And now we're suddenly in a situation where we are saying that this can be done. For example, the board has said now that you have to accredit the players' agents.
Yes.
These players' agents, so-called, are basically racketeers. Not all of them. Many of them are genuine. Most of them are genuine, I would presume. But there's a whole lot of them who come in as players' agents and hang around. And you cannot go for any India Test match without running into a whole lot of these same characters who keep coming over and over again.
Okay.
We have written about it. Everybody who's followed the Indian team has written about it, but the board has not bothered.
Absolutely.
Now suddenly, because of this turn of events, now for the first time they have officially recognized these agents. They said you get accredited just like journalists get accredited. Let the agents also get accredited.
Okay.
So I think there has been some recognition of the fact that they got it wrong the last time, and they would like to go ahead.
Mr. Menon, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'll have to interrupt you now, sir. But you know, there are people who will agree with me when they say this is coming a little too late in the day. It has come, we have to welcome it, but it has come a little too late for the BCCI to now realize that they should pull up their socks. I'm going to come to you, Mr. Chaturvedi, for more. Let me bring in a few more calls. Ramesh from Delhi and Vishal from Maharashtra. Vishal, stay on with us. Ramesh, go ahead, speak your mind out.
I'm coming from Delhi.
Yes.
Well, this is regard, you know, on the previous show and throughout the day, I've seen on the TV channels that, Mr. Sreenivasan, I think day before yesterday or yesterday, during his conference, during his meeting with the BCCI governing body, he says that he is helpless. He is helpless and the things are not easy. When the previous, the sport minister, Mr. Markan, has tried his level best to bring out the RTE. He says that it has got nothing to do with the public money. It is a private institution. On one hand, he claims that. On the other hand, he says that he does not have any investigating agency. This is why he can't do anything about the, what do you call this, bookies game.
Okay, I'll have to interrupt there, Mr. Ramesh. I want to speak to a few more people. Thanks very much. Vishal from Maharashtra, go ahead, speak your mind out. Vishal. Alright, we've lost that line. Mr. Chaturvedi, would you like to respond to what Mr. Menon was saying some time back? And I also want to understand from you, Mr. Chaturvedi, there was a caller who said that players are only victims. Is that really true, or do they definitely have a choice?
No.
Go ahead.
No. You see, players are not victims.
Yeah.
Players are not victim. Nobody is doing a coercion on them. It is very much their choice. But the only problem is that there is nothing which is existing there. So then they'll get back. You see what happened to Harbhajan controversy. When, the BCCI went to ICC and said, if Harbhajan doesn't play, we will withdraw. When he had a 3-year ban.
Yes.
What is that? Now let me respond first to that caller. I think it was Mr. Sudhir.
Okay.
Again, I am drawing your attention to a small news item which came out in 2010 by Sir Paul Condon, head of the ACCU, where he said, our advice would and remain that if you are going to have world-class players, international players, this is about the IPL. Here it is clearly saying that the players, those who come here, will take this dirt back. They will take this dirt back into the system of betting. He was afraid of this 2 years back. And I would like to respond to Mr. Menon.
Okay,
Mr.
quickly,
Menon,
sir, quickly, we're running out of time on the show.
Quick. I'm saying, Mr. Menon, it is very important for the authorities sitting there. When a crime happens in Delhi, in one area, you want the police commissioner to resign. But now why are you not racking up this issue that the crime has happened here, something has happened, why are you not asking a resignation of anybody in the BCCI?
Mr. Menon, please respond. Why shouldn't the head of BCCI respond? And with that response, your closing remarks, please. Mr. Menon, go ahead.
I have been asking for the resignation of Mr. Sreenivasan from the time the IPL started on the simple ground that there is a clash of interests. And this is what has created the culture that has encouraged this kind of spot fixing.
Right. Well, closing remarks, Mr. Menon.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Menon, closing remarks on the show. What should be done?
Come again, please. What should be done?
Yeah.
I think that you cannot legislate against human greed. We have to accept that.
Okay.
But what can be done is to ensure that someone who's caught, someone who's been proven to be guilty, pays a price so heavy that it discourages the next person from doing so.
Absolutely, that's what is required. Mr. Chaturvedi, last 10 seconds, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the head should roll from the top, not from the bottom.
Yes.
Because they're all, on your very channel I said thank you Sreesanth. If you had not done this whole worms wouldn't have come out.
Right.
So thank you Sreesanth, but the head has to roll from the top to teach everybody a lesson that people sitting there in the air-conditioned room, enjoying the pleasure of parties and all, are no more going to be spared by the Indian cricket fans.
Alright. In fact, you know what? I have time just about for a last call, and I want to take this call because we have Srinivasan joining us on the telephone line. Of course, it's not the one that we're talking of in the BCCI, but he's from Belgaum in Karnataka. Srinivasan, go ahead. You're the last person on the show to speak your mind out. Go ahead, Srinivasan.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Srinivasan.
Yes.
And I just want to say we can beat around the bush for ages to come regarding all this betting and all. It cannot be stopped. Why not legalize betting as in the English Premier League?
All right.
And that is to be done only by the politicians who I doubt very much will do it.
Well, that's
Thank
another
you so
debate
much.
we will pick up one day for sure. Thanks very much, Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Chaturvedi and Mr. Menon. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on Speaker India tonight. One thing is very certain, it's the BCCI who should be held accountable, and a lot more needs to be done. It's time now BCCI does pull up its socks and show us that it is serious about curbing corruption in cricket. Thanks for watching. Jujhar Singh joins you up next with NewsX at 9. Good night.